Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final match of the quarterfinals of 1K World Cup 2026. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm your commentator. My name is Aki, and tonight we have two of some of the craziest teams that you're going to see here. We're going to have the Untied States versus Norway. The Norway, the solid, insanely good team of two of Zikwitz and Cresswell, and the Untied States, boasting a bunch of new players, as well as, I believe, one returning player from the past 1K World Cups, but a couple people that were also performing over in Joke 4. We're going to have Sparky, we're going to have Minus, we're going to have Ethan, and we're going to have Woey. So it's going to be quite a match, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys. Both of these players are, well, excuse me, not both of these players, both of these teams are strong in their own way. We're going to have a 95 of a roll from Untied States. I don't exactly know what Norway's roll was, but I'd have a hard time thinking if it's higher than a 95. We're not the first Untied States pick. Honestly, I'm imagining they're just kind of going to go for rice maps. Maybe the speed, maybe even the SV, we'll see. We're going to start off with Hybrid 4, which is going to be one of the more difficult, one of the more strenuous maps a part of this pool. Fresh it up, definitely having some really awkward 8th bursts. And even a few 6 bursts. They're not too long, but there are still some hybrid aspects that can easily trip up somebody if they're not paying too much attention. We'll have to see. I'm just pulling this stuff up right now. My computer keeps crashing, so I hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, I will be back shortly. This out of the way. Yeah, Norway being C13. Unfortunately for Untied States being, unfortunately for both teams, Untied States being knocked a little bit early into the losers bracket with a bit of an upset coming in from Canada, who had their full team last round, but still was extraordinarily close. So we're gonna have the seed 5 going against seed 13 in quarterfinals, which is unfortunate for Team Norway, but anything is possible in the realm of 1K. We're gonna get right into it. What I'd imagine is Untied States will likely just kind of blitz them out in the fastest kind of maps, and in hopes that they are unable to maintain. I think that's Bancho. Maybe not. I guess that's not Bancho. Very late hits coming in from Cuspel, but it looks like they're slowly able to get back on it. Great scores coming out from Untied States so far. Sparky boasting a nice 99. Unfortunately going to be dropping down to a 98 with a miss, but it's not going to matter too much with Minus being pulled extraordinarily strong. I think it's keeping the SS with a 99.7, really showing this new player, by the way, new player to the 1K community. And one of the stronger hitters in the United States. Norway, unfortunately, not having the most amount of fun when it comes to these maps. Seeming to not be able to hold on to them in these faster patterns. I have been made aware that there are still people currently playing in the tournament with only one finger and not alternating. And that could very well be what's happening here. Or at least one hand. Well, you know, not too sure. Zikwitz trying their best to maintain above an S rank, unfortunately falling just short. I mean, a great showing so far from Untied States. Coming right here to the ending, there's not too much more to play. This is going to be a monumental score difference. This might be one of the biggest score differences we've seen in this tournament to this date. With 650, they hit 650k. We're gonna have 665,000 of a score difference. Minus being the sole individual with the FC, definitely showing why she belongs on the Untied States as their carry. Next pick will be Norway. I mean, they might just play something to have fun. Yeah, Rice won. Unfortunately, not looking like they will have put up a fantastic fight. But we'll have to see. Especially with all the disconnects we had last game, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, maybe Norway's able to nab off a couple of points from US. Or maybe they're just some sleeper agents. I'll have to see. It's a bit on the longer side in terms of maps. Oh yeah, being relatively straightforward, but you're gonna see some really weird doublets that might catch some players off guard. I'm going to get right into it, right off the bat. We're going to see the same people showing up. We have Midas and Sparky and their team, and obviously the only two people over on Team Norway. Crustbell seeming to be able to lock in just a little bit more on these patterns, which is interesting. But the moment these doublets hit, it looks like they immediately fall apart. Which is unfortunate for Team Norway. But US holding strong in some of these really weird doublets. It is really easy to get shipped up there. Very easy. But Norway, although they were holding really strongly over in the first like 10 seconds, looks like some of these faster, more complex rhythms might be just a little bit too much of them to handle at this point in the game. Sparky actually top lobbying this time, holding really strong accuracy. It looks like Midas might have tanked a couple of 200s, but nothing too irrecoverable. The score gap increasing to 100,000 from just a few too many breaks from Team Norway. Both players from Team US being able to hit these 6 streams in bursts. As we go back into Flam Heaven. But Sparky is going to find a miss on one of these 6 streams. Not that it's going to matter too much. Sparky finding another miss. Maybe a little bit of nerves getting shaken out, but this score difference is not going to be... I mean, one of these players could probably disconnect, and I don't know if they make up 200,000. I definitely don't want to test that theory, though. Coming to the last half of the map. Not half. Last, I wouldn't even say quarter. This is like, there's not much more left of the map. And it looks like we're gonna see some more goods and grades coming out from Zickwitz. Unfortunately, not being able to recover back up to a 95, or else we would have had four S ranks. And it looks like that's all she's gonna be writing, because I don't want to jinx it. Will we see the FC coming out from Minus? It looks like we will, with an amazing performance from Team Untied States. With a 162 ratio, there was a few goods coming out from Minus's side, but it looks like they were things that were able to be not misses, which is always nice to see if you are a fan of Team Untied States. Still great performance from Team Norway. Unfortunately, not both players being able to hold an S rank, but same amount of misses. That's all that counts in my book. Untied States, again, I think they just coast. I don't even think they really need to speed blitz. Probably just play the things that they're comfortable with. Oh, maybe we might see SV coming out, though. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the SV pick. Just for fun. Just for some fun. Untied States having one of the stronger SV teams. Or teams that can play SV. And we're gonna see the SV pick. As we've seen in the past matches, this SV pick, although this is easier to learn, it is still difficult physicality-wise. We've seen a lot of teams that we thought were gonna set really good scores and have quite a few mini chokes. So we're gonna see Ethan and showing from Ethan, obviously the Team SV player, the Team God SV player. And I think Sparky is gonna be staying in for this. Party! Hopefully these teams are able to party hard and put up a good showing. We're struggling a little tiny bit. Both players already at an A rank, but Crestbell recovering to an S rank. And we're gonna have doublets. Doublets galore. A little birdie told me Ethan might have been complaining a little bit ago about that doublet section, but hitting it perfectly. Holding that combo, Sparky finding a bit of a miss. Sigwood's still holding their head above water with a B rank. Both Crestbow and Sigwood's with a Z rank, B rank for now. Okay. Oh. We're hoping they just stay above a B. They are gaining. Sparky and pretty much the entire lobby, except for Ethan, finding breaks on the stream flams. Ethan again being the only one to hit the timing. There's that one stream that starts on the blue note. Finding a few 200s, but nothing that they cannot hit. And we're gonna see Zigwood's dipping down into the C ranks, which happens to the best of us. To go further, we're gonna see if maybe Crestball can hold on to the rank. And Ethan's unfortunately finding a choke right at the end, but still a fantastic showing of their doublet might. And easily top lobbying. The 97.85. Great performance from Team Untied States, taking yet another point, yet another victory off of Team Norway. We're gonna see our first, not our first C rank of the tournament, our first C rank of the match. It is unlucky and unfortunate. We'll see what Norway picks. I'm going to take a random guess, and I'm going to say that they're going to pick Rice 2. Maybe Rice 3. They're going to pick Rice 3. I'm calling it right now. Speed. Definitely not what I would have expected them to choose. Maybe a little bit lower in my bucket list. But it is a great map. It's a great song, and it's probably something nice that they can just feel like they can just play. Nobody's picking, I think, California yet. We might have had one team pick California. I don't know why. I don't know why. Surely there's nothing weird with the song lyrics. Maybe a little bit distracting. No, surely not. Thanks, Moist Critical. Appreciate you. Speed definitely one of the faster picks. As we've seen, a lot of teams feel comfortable on this map. We're gonna see the Wowie swap in, the Wowie, and Minus. These are two, probably the Rice players of Untied States. We're gonna still see Zigwood and Crestball because they're the only two people. Awesome to see the first appearance this match of Wowie. And we get right into it. Everybody hitting the flam, which is interesting. I think my first time playing AIWS, I missed the flam. And I was so confused. I was like, what did I just miss? Because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know there was a flam there. Easy to miss. Very easy to miss. Both players in Team US. I'm almost gonna say US. Untied states. I get confused too much. Look at these ratios. It's a ratio battle between Minus and Wowie. It is back and forth. It's anybody's game. It's like I'm watching. It's like we're watching two 1v1s vertically. Minus gonna be finding a bit of a miss there right at the early game. So Minus might be losing it to Wowie. But Crespel holding strong against Zickwids. Zickwids down to an A rank. Wowie holding onto the SS. Keeping really strong accuracy, and Minus is recovering rather well. Crespel finding a miss right on the last note, which is unfortunate. Wowie's gonna be finding also a miss during the break, which is an interesting part, but as much as this is a break in the song, it definitely does not feel like it in terms of mapping. Here's where you're actually gonna have a lot of the introductions to these longer streams. Going into this last chorus, where everything kind of comes together, you're gonna have definitely some bunch of triple bursts and a bunch of long streams, and even this really, really long 6 stream, but everybody being able to hit it in the entire lobby. Minus finding a few goods and 200s, but still being able to hold above a 99. And will Zickwids be able to maintain that 95? It looks like he might. And we're gonna have a three-way S ranks. No FCs. No FCs in the speed map. But a great performance from all players. United States, Untied States, same thing, will be now on match point. One miss coming out from the US players. And honestly, great combos from Team Norway. Let's see what Untied States does. Clearly they can't pick SV anymore, so I wonder if they're just gonna pick, like, probably not long note. Maybe we get to see Rice 3. I'd imagine we're gonna see Rice 3. But I think any pick for them is a safe pick. Out of the maps that we still have. Maybe even in Puxa. Interesting to see in Puxa. But I think we'd probably more likely see Hybrid 3, which is Little Game Star. So my top 3 that I think they're gonna pick is Rice 3, Hybrid 2, or Hybrid 3. Maybe we get to see Long Note 2. We're gonna see Hybrid 1. Hey, did we ever see Long Note 2 in the entire tournament, the entire match? I don't think we have. To be fair, we did have almost a couple of win by defaults. So that might have been played. Unfortunately, I don't think any team is quite too comfortable with some of those weird releases and lagomorphic bunny-esque. We're gonna see the golfs come out. We're gonna see one-way street. Definitely a consistent map. Has some weirdness at the end, but I think what might catch some players off guard, especially if you're not paying attention, there is a long 6 stream right in the beginning of the map. Very easy to forget that it's there, especially in match when you have these nerves. So we'll see if anybody ends up missing on those. I'm gonna guess 2 players miss. Oh, only 1 missed. Not to be confused with 1X miss from Billiam Moto, Grand Finals of 1K World Cup 2025. Not to be confused with that. Wowie's gonna find an early miss, which is unfortunate for Team United States. But Zickwids and Crespel being able to hold their head above water with the 95s. And Minus just rocking the 99.5. But finding a miss right there at the long note. Looks like it probably did not hold long enough. Probably hit that like a rice note is what it looked like from the UR bar. Frostball doing alright. Keep in mind, this team from Norway is seed 13, one of the bottom seeds. So the fact that they're still able to perform rather decently in these later rounds, like 1K World Cup scales very fast. You have a very limited amount of rounds. So these are very hard in terms of what people are used to or what they would expect, especially from like newer 1K players. Minus and Wowie, both from Untied States, nearly matching each other's accuracy. Actually, exactly matching each other's accuracies. This is maybe a couple of like 200s or a couple of 300s away from the same score. Would be really funny to see a tie, but I don't think it's gonna happen with Wowie finding, I think, a nasty 200. Ooh, and Zigbit's falling right short of the 95 and just tanking everything. And as we get to this hardest section of the map, where it gets a little bit more awkward and a bit more complex in terms of the rhythms, you're gonna see some doublets here coming up. Everyone hitting it. But Crespel is going to be keeping the S rank. So many different terms we use. And it looks like Untied States is going to be taking up the victory of their losers bracket match against Team Norway with a nice sweep to end things off. Congratulations to Team Untied States. Fantastic scores. Very scary team to be facing against in the losers bracket. Just in general to be facing. And Team Norway played, honestly, a very, very noble game. Kept their heads in it. Practiced the maps, and I mean, they had a good run. Especially for being a seed 13. Being able to make it through the other teams that did not qualify. So, congratulations. We really appreciate you stopping by to join us here in 1K World Cup, and we do hope you show up again in the future. But with that being said, congratulations to Sparky, Minus, Ethan, and Wowie for their victory over Team Norway. Going to be landing themselves a nice solid spot into semi-finals. And that was the final match that we're going to see of the qualifiers. That's not the qualifiers, the quarterfinals. They both start with Q's. Leave me alone. So, we're going to have in the winner's bracket, we're going to have Japan and France. We're going to have USA and United Kingdom. Crazy, crazy matches. And don't count anybody out of the losers bracket out just yet. We're going to have Mexico, Peru, Australia versus Untied States, Canada versus Taiwan, and Porch of Geese versus Croatia. Now, these are all scary teams that have, as you can see from their quarterfinals matches, absolutely are going to be putting up a very, very valiant fight. We do hope you guys show up again for the next week. As for the showcase, I'm not too exactly sure when that's going to happen, but make sure you check out the Discord and keep up to date on any of the stream announcements. And again, my name is Aki. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys later.